Hello and welcome to News 20 at 5 on this Wednesday evening. I'm Brea Hollingsworth.
And I'm Giselle Thomas.
Lori Dixie, an acclaimed civil rights activist, died at the age of 92. Dixie played a role in desegregating Leon County schools and public transportation. She also helped with civil rights demonstrations and strategy sessions for the 1956 bus boycott in Tallahassee. Dixie also traveled to Alabama to help obtain voting rights for citizens. She also had relationships with important civil rights activists such as C.K. Steele and Martin Luther King Jr. Dixie was a Lincoln High graduate. Her funeral will be held this Friday at 11 a.m. at Bethel Missionary Baptist Church, where she was a member for 65 years.
If you didn't know, the North Florida Fair is over, but the history of the land remains. We found out about a new edition that recognizes history made in Florida and nationally. The Leon County Fairgrounds in the capital city was vastly different in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It was once used as a temporary jail for students who were arrested during the civil rights movement.
Not just a place where you go eat cotton candy and ride on a ride, but people need to know that black people were housed out there, they were detained out there, they were jailed out there.
Leon County Fairgrounds were used for animals and also cattle, but because of an overflow of about 240 inmates in the local jails, they turned these fairgrounds into temporary jails. North Florida Fair officials say students were put in one of these 3 holding cells during the movement. The inmates were housed in the same holding areas as livestock. Tallahassee native Eddie Barrington was an active participant in the civil rights movement.
There was a point to lead the inner city council. I was assistant secretary, and then we operate from there.
The purpose of the marker, to ensure Florida A&M University, Florida State University, and University of Florida students who were detained in the makeshift jail facilities are recognized and celebrated for their sacrifice. The North Florida Fair Association and Leon County teamed up and split the cost for the historical marker, totaling $2,200, where the area where the marker is set has not yet been determined.
A community meeting to discuss crime prevention in Tallahassee resulted in many approaches. The meeting featured several community leaders and law enforcement who all spoke about crime prevention. Leon County Sheriff Walt McNeil offered a few ideas about how to make the community a safer place for future generations while aiming for a better tomorrow. Sheriff Walt McNeil said law enforcement is working hard to bring the DARE program, which is aimed at drug prevention, back into Leon County schools. People also gave solutions on how to make Tallahassee a safer place. And the FAMU Way project is still underway. Ebony Walker has more.
The Gain Street makeover is complete.
Actually, so this new curve brings it through here. There was also an opportunity then to partner with FAMU and have kind of an additional gateway into campus.
Now it's on to Gamble Street.
Previously, it was a 2-lane narrow roadway. There were no bike lanes, there was no sidewalks, there were no bicycle facilities.
But that's changed. This is part of a 3-phase project to enhance the area.
This new corridor has bike lanes. It also has wide sidewalks on one side, and on the other side it has a 12-foot multi-use path.
Director of the FAMU Way project, Alicia Weatherwell, says the beautification process just kind of worked out. Now there's progress for pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists who need to maneuver through the area. Phase 2 of the FAMU Way project is expected to be completed by the end of November, allowing through traffic to resume from Gamble Street to Lake Bradford Street. Now, the task at hand is to complete Phase 3. To do so, the city must purchase land from property owners in the area. All 3 phases of the project are expected to be completed by 2022. In Tallahassee, Ebony Walker, News 20.
The total cost for the FAMU Way project is budgeted at $47 million.
A 32-year-old former teacher at Wakulla County School was arrested and charged with 2 counts of molestation and 2 counts of lewd conduct. Between fall 2016 and spring 2017, Hughes molested a young girl. According to officials, the victim was under 16. Earlier this month, Hughes was arrested at his home and booked into the Wakulla County Jail. He was released on a $40,000 bond.
City commissioners focus on economic and social strategies to fight crime. Shatanya Clark is in the studio with more details.
Yes, Giselle, we know that Leon County commissioners approved more than $87,000 in an effort to fight crime. According to officials, the Public Safety Coordinating Council will decide how best to use the $87,000 that was granted by Leon County commissioners. The money is said to be used to address substance abuse, lack of job and life skills, employment assistance, and felon reentry back into Leon County. For the past 3 years, Leon County had the highest crime rates in Florida based on data submitted to the state. County commissioners proposed using the City-County Community Redevelopment Agency to address infrastructure shortfalls in the communities that have historically experienced the most crime. That's all I have for you. Back to you all at the desk.
Coming up on News 20 at 5, Senate Republicans revisit Obamacare.
Plus, a little later in entertainment news, Jordan Sparks may be celebrating as she welcomes home a new addition. Stay tuned. You're watching News 20 at 5.
Good evening, I'm Angelique Beckford with your entertainment. In the wake of Harvey Weinstein's sexual harassment scandal that has prompted hundreds of victims to speak out about their own experiences of abuse, survivors want to make their voices heard in the heart of a town rocked by the recent revelations involving some of the most prominent figures. The hashtag #MeToo rally hopes to bring the social media movement to the streets, bringing people to the intersection of Hollywood and Highland, which will serve as a safe space for victims and survivors of sexual harassment who have kept their secret struggles silent for so long. Country music star Blake Shelton is People Magazine's 2017 Sexiest Man Alive. Shelton told the publication he was shocked by the news and joked that they must be running out of people. Shelton said his girlfriend Gwen Stefani convinced him to embrace the honor. And now Shelton says he'll be able to brag about it to Adam Levine, his fellow judge on The Voice and the 2013 Sexiest Man Alive. A piece of rock and roll history is sold for a small fortune. A guitar once owned by Bob Dylan fetched nearly $400,000 in an auction on Saturday. The acoustic Martin D28 was played at George Harrison's concert for Bangladesh and Dylan's own Rolling Thunder Revue tour in 1970s. In 1977, Dylan decided to switch to Gibson guitars, so Dylan sold it to Larry Craig, his guitar repairman, for a mere $500. Craig says he kept the guitar in a humidity-controlled room for the past 40 years and that the guitar hasn't been played since Dylan handed it over. This is not the first time an instrument from Dylan racked up a pretty penny. A Fender Stratocaster from Dylan's infamous Newport Folk Festival performance sold for nearly $1 million in 2013. Congratulations are in order for singer and former American Idol winner Jordan Sparks. The 27-year-old confirmed to be People's Magazine that she secretly wed boyfriend Dana Isaiah in July. Specifically, the two eloped while on vacation in Hawaii with a few friends in attendance. Not only that, but the two are expecting their first child in spring. They learned the happy news just weeks after tying the knot. Sparks says she's now counting her blessings and welcoming the changes in her life. Actress Rose McGowan is free on bond following her arrest on cocaine possession charges. She turned herself in to deputies in Loudoun County, Virginia on Tuesday. McGowan was arrested and booked before being released on a $5,000 bond. A warrant for her arrest was issued in February after an incident at Washington's International Airport. That's where officials say they found traces of narcotics on some of her personal belongings left behind on a flight. McGowan has been a leading voice among the sexual harassment accusations against Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein. She tweeted last month that the arrest warrant was an attempt to silence her. She's facing a felony drug possession charge. That's all I have for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Welcome back to News 20 at 5. I'm Sade Kelly here with your weather forecast. Let's take a look at some of today's temperatures. So today it's Wednesday and it's 68 degrees outside, partly cloudy. Our humidity is going to be at 43%. Our winds are moving north-northeast at 6 miles per hour. Our sun will be setting at 5:39 p.m. and there is a 0% chance of rain. Moving into some of tonight's temperatures, it's going to be partly cloudy as well at 50 degrees. Our winds are moving north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. Our humidity is going to be at 72% and rain at 0%. Now we're going to have a look at our area temperatures. Marianna is going to be at a high of 65 and a low of 42. At a high of 68 and a low of 42. Bainbridge at a high of 64 and a low of 43. Albany at a high of 63 and a low of 40. Crawfordville at a high of 69 and a low of 43 degrees. Thomasville at a high of 66 and a low of 43 degrees. And Moultrie at a high of 64 and a low of 42 degrees. Now for a look at our 5-day forecast. Starting off with Thursday, it's going to be nice and sunny outside with a high of 74 and a low of 46 degrees. On Friday, it'll be sunny as well with a high of 74 and a low of 49 degrees. Moving right on into the week and starting off with Saturday, it's going to be nice and sunny outside with a high of 78 degrees and a low of 58. On Sunday, we're going to have some light showers with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. And on Monday, it's going to be nice and sunny again with a high of 66 degrees and a low of 44 degrees. I'm Sade Kelly. That's all I have for your weather updates. Back to you all at the desk.
Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. For Sade and for Jessica, I'm Brea Hollingsworth.
And I'm Giselle Thomas. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.